When we are solving systems of equations by elimination, we always want opposite coefficients. What that means is, if we look at our first example, do you notice that we have a positive 8 and we have a negative 8? Those are opposite coefficients. One is positive, one is negative. What we always want to do is add our two lines together. And you're going to notice when we add our two lines together, a variable is going to cancel. My x's are lined up, my y's are lined up. Beautiful. So when we add 8x plus a negative 8x, they go away. It's 0x. Negative 3y plus a negative 5y is negative 8y. 2 plus 46 is 48. So all I did was add all my variables, or all my terms together. Now I can solve for y because it's just negative 8y equals 48. Divide both sides by negative 8. Y is negative 6. However, just like when we did substitution, we're not done because we have our y value, but we need our x. We can pick either equation to work with. I'm just going to pick the top one. And I'm going to plug in negative 6 for my y. So 8x plus 18 equals 2. Subtract 18 on both sides. 8x equals negative 16. X equals negative 2. So my solution to these two equations is negative 2, negative 6. That's their intersection point. So the first one was a little easier because we were able to just cancel out variables from the beginning. But we notice here that there is not any opposite coefficients. We have a 2 and a 1, a positive 4 and a negative 2. So we want to make opposite coefficients, and we can do that by balancing out the equation by multiplying one of them by a number. So I can do either. I can eliminate the x's or the y's. I notice when I look at my y's, I can multiply the second line by 2 to get negative 4y here. So then I would have a positive 4y and a negative 4y, and I'd be set. So I need to multiply this entire line. You're going to notice I put everything in parentheses by 2. So I'm going to rewrite my first line over here. And then I'm going to distribute this 2 into all three terms. So my new second line is 2x minus 4y equals 18. It's balanced because I multiplied everything by the 2. Now, just like my last example, I'm going to add those two lines together. 2x plus 2x is 4x. 4y plus a negative 4y cancels. Negative 14 plus 18 is 4. Now I have x all by itself, so I'm going to solve. X equals 1. Now, I have my x value. I need my y. I can pick the first guy or I can pick this one here. Either one works. I'm just going to pick the first one to plug my x back into. To solve for my y. And now 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract 2. 4y equals negative 16. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Y equals negative 4. So the intersection point, or the solution to those two equations, is 1, negative 4. My last example for this video is right here, so take a second to write it down. I'm going to notice that there is no opposite coefficients yet. 5 and 3, 4 and 6, they're not opposites. So I'm going to need to multiply one line or both lines by a number to make opposite coefficients. I don't have any numbers that 5 times anything, so it's going to get me 3. And same thing for 4 times 6. It's not going to work. So I'm just going to eliminate my x's. So I'm going to find the least common multiple of 5 and 3. The least common multiple of 5 and 3 is 15. I want one line to be positive 15 and one line to be negative 15. I'm going to make my first line the positive one. So to get 15, I need to multiply this entire line by 3. 3 times 5 gets me 15. I'm going to have to multiply my entire second line by negative 5, because negative 5 times 3 is a negative 15. So 3 times 5 is 15x plus 12y equals negative 42, because I multiplied everything in the parentheses. And my second set will say negative 15x minus 30y equals negative 30. Just like our last examples, I'm going to add my two lines together. Cancel. 12 plus a negative 30 is negative 18y. Negative 42 and a negative 30 gets me negative 72. Divide by negative 18 on both sides. And y equals 72 divided by 18 is a 4, and the negatives cancel, so y equals 4. So I know my y equals 4, I got to figure out what my x equals. I can pick either equation, I'm just going to pick the first guy. You could use these guys, but I wouldn't touch them. I would just look at the original equations. I'm going to replace my x, or I'm sorry, I'm going to replace my y with a 4. And solve. 5x plus 16 equals negative 14. Subtract 16. 5x equals negative 30. And divide both sides by 5. Negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. So the solution, or the intersection of those two lines, is negative 6, 4.